What's going on, guys? King Raven here, coming at you with another video today. Today we are going to do a knife overview of several RoseCraft Blade slip joints. Some from the Lefty Pass Around group, big shout out to the Lefty Pass Around group, and some from my own personal collection. But before we get into today's knife overviews, y'all remember to give me a like, leave a comment, and in the description of this video and all my videos there will be links. Some of those are affiliate links, and some of the links are to my Patreon, to my Instagram, and to my TikTok. So if you would like to support what I do here at the channel and help bring more content and newer videos like testing videos and stuff like that, consider joining my Patreon and using those links. I greatly appreciate it. At the end of the video, there'll be a little subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and check out the other video I'll have linked. Now let's flip this camera around and get into today's knife overviews of several RoseCraft Blade slip joint. Okay guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at several RoseCraft Blade knives. They're traditional slip joint knives. So if you like slip joints, you'll want to pay attention to this video. Now, I have several from the Lefty Pass Around group, several from my own personal collection, so we're going to go through these pretty quickly. But if you're looking for great quality and good materials and good fit and finish at a really good value, you want to check out RoseCraft Blades. So let's start off with this one. This one is called the Mosquito Lake Mousse. Okay, so this is the only one of the bunch that has two blades. I really like this. This is also one of the largest that's in this group. Now, it's got this sort of like clip point that sort of drops down, comes to a little clip right here, nice belly right there. Really good in hands. I have medium-sized hands, okay? So that gives you an idea. I've got plenty of handle left over, and you can really get a good purchase on this. Large hands, not going to have a problem. So you've got a clip point blade on this side, and then my favorite blade of this one is on this side. You've got, I'll wipe off that. That's one thing about slip joints, you'll leave fingerprints, but I'm just wiping it off for the video. This sort of like spear point with the swedge on top. This has been my favorite blade on the this particular knife, on the Mousse, the Mosquito Lake Mousse. The Mosquito Lake Mousse, this spear point is fantastic. You can use the tip. It's got tons of belly. You can do the draw cuts. You can do the power cuts. Both the clip point and the spear point are outstanding. But this just happens to be my favorite blade on this knife. You can tell the fit and finish of these is fantastic. All the seams, all the seam work, the pins, everything, the transition from the bolsters, all really, really nice. Now, all of these knives are in D2 steel. So, if I had only one nitpick, is I wish they would use a stainless steel, but D2 is a really good steel, and it's a really tough steel. So, and it'll hold a good edge. So I can't complain too much about D2, but that is a little preference. I wish there was one with a little bit more stainless ability on these traditional knives. Alright, moving on. The next one we're going to take a look at is called the Otter Creek Barlo. So the Otter Creek Barlo is a Barlo style knife to where you've got the bolster here, and then you've just got the handles inlays here. You don't have another bolster at the end, sort of like you saw on the Mosquito Lake Mousse, where you've got bolsters on both ends. This one is that more Barlo style. Great in hand, a little bit smaller, I'll bring all of them out towards the end to do size comparisons. But a nice clip point. This is very similar to the clip point that was on the Mosquito Lake Mousse. It's just a little bit shorter, not as long of a blade, but really good in hand. Great fit and finish, all the seam works, transitions, and you've got this little like otter paw on there. So that was the Otter Creek Barlo. Next is probably one of the most unique knives of the bunch. This one is called the Zambezi. Okay, so the Zambezi has this huge forward choil in hand. So whether you're back here or whether you're using that choil, which is the way I used it most of the time, it's really good in hand, but you're getting just a small amount of cutting edge. Okay, so this, in my opinion, this is what I like to call a box zipper, because you can just put it in hand and you can zip open a box, or you can use the finger pinch to zip open a box, because it's not got a very tall grind and you've got decently sized stock, so it makes it more wedged and slicey. Okay, but it is sharp for sure, but it really excels more in the zip open a box than anything else, because you do have a thicker wedge here, because the grind is just not that tall on this particular knife, the Zambezi, but it's definitely comfortable in hand. Okay, and a unique piece for sure. Next up right here, this is called the Crane Creek Jack. Okay, the Crane Creek Jack. And this one is, like I was saying, compared to like a Barlo, you have bolster on the top and a bolster on the bottom. Most Jack knives have bolsters on both ends, where most Barlows just have the bolster at the top and the handle inlay at the bottom. But I love the way they sort of did this little flare out right in the center. It gives really nice in my hand, because my fingers with my hands lands right where that hits me right in the middle. So it's going to be different for most each person's hands, but this fits me really nice. Now this is another clip point style with the swedge on top. Really good for those draw cuts. You can use those that belly. Really nice. It's not a very tall, it's a more slender, narrow knife. Really nice as far as a traditional style slip joint. Okay, moving on. Next, this one right here is another one of the larger ones that's on this list. This is part of my knife collection. This is the Little Riverbend Skinner. Okay, this is the Little Riverbend Skinner. This has more of almost like a sandy grind. Okay, it's kind of a sandy, kind of a flat grind, but it really reminds me of like a sandy grind, sort of like you see on like a Morel knife. And it is a very sharp knife, and I can understand why they call this a Skinner, because I could imagine this would be really good at skinning. I have not skinned anything with this, but just knowing from my past experience and everything, this, especially this belly, would be able to just slice right through the material really nicely. So as far as an EDC knife, to use the tip, you're going to have to go way up, almost full 90 degrees. But I use the belly, and that belly for draw cuts works fantastically, especially with this grind. Really good in hand, Really nice. That curve shape's very ergonomic. So that is the little Riverbend Skinner. Next up is the French Broad Jack. Okay, so this is one of my favorite RoseCraft knives. Very nice handle, very beautiful looking knife. You've got the bolsters on each end, and the knife sort of swells up here, gets thinner, and then does a curve. So really great in hand, very comfortable. And this Warncliffe style blade with the swedge that drops there, this is super useful for EDC because you can do your puncture and then do your draw cuts. Any finesse cuts is going to be very easy, and then you'll have the whole length of that blade for any push or power cuts. Really nice. That is the French Broad Jack. Okay, let's moving on. All right, now this one right here is, let me get the name. I got the names over here on the side because it's hard to keep up with all the names. This right here is the Beaver Creek Barlo. So another Barlo style bolster up here, inlays down here, with a Warncliffe style with a swedge on the top. So just like with the French Broad Jack, it's very useful as far as the EDCs. Puncture and do your draw cuts. Any finesse cuts, no problem. Your long power cuts, you're going to have full length of that blade. So that is the Beaver Creek Barlo. Then next up is the Tanzel Lake Teardrop. This is one of their newer releases, and this one is another favorite in my personal collection. This one, where the French Broad Jack was thicker at the top, see, like this, thicker at the top. This one's thinner at the top. This one widens out to thicker at the back, where this one narrows, and then this one just slowly tapers like a teardrop, and this one curves. So the Tanzel Lake Teardrop, and this one has, I refer to as a spear point blade because just the shape of the blade with that little swedge. This is more of a spear point style drop point. Really great in hand. Nice for any of the cuts, the finesse cuts, the draw cuts, anything like that. The Tanzel Lake Teardrop is just a really good overall slip joint knife style and profile. And then last but not least, this is the Luchi Jack. No, the Luchi, do they call it the Jack? I know it's the Luchi, but I know it's a Barlo style instead of a Jack style. But let's see here. Do they call it? They do call it the Luchi Jack. Most Jacks have boasters on both fins, but for some reason, instead of calling this one a Barlo, they call this one a Luchi Jack. Either way, this one is one of my favorites. This one has a clip point with a big belly right here towards it. The belly almost drops down like a Cutlery style. Alright, so you can use the tip, you can use the belly, either one for your draw and your finesse cuts. And then because the belly drops down this way, when you're doing the power cut, it almost works like a recurve where it's drawing material up into the sweet spot of that belly. So it really is a nice cutter. You can break down a lot of cardboard with the Luchi Jack. So let's get these lined up here. The Luchi Jack, the Tanzel Lake Teardrop, the Beaver Creek Barlo, the French Broad Jack, the Little Riverbend Skinner, the Crane Creek Jack, the Zambezi, the Otter Creek Barlo, and then the Mosquito Lake Mousse. That gives you a good size reference. Definitely the two largest is the Mosquito Lake Mousse by far, and it's also the double bladed one on this list. And then the Little Riverbend Skinner. Then you've got your narrow ones like the French Broad Jack and the Tanzel Lake Teardrop and the Crane Creek Jack. Then the Barlows, the Otter Creek Barlo, the Beaver Creek Barlo, and the Luchi Jack, even though it's in a Barlo style. And then your unique one of the bunch, the Zambezi. I would not even know what kind of slip joint you would call this between a Barlo and a Jack style. This is just a Zambezi. Let's flip this camera around and wrap up today's video of these RoseCraft knives. So guys, what do you think about these RoseCraft blade slip joints? Outstanding fit and finish, all the seam works, all the inlays, good D2 steel. Designs are outstanding. So if you want a quality made at really good value slip joints, check out RoseCraft. They'll be linked below. I don't have a affiliate link to RoseCraft Blades, but I'll link them and I'll mark it not affiliate, but I'll also link some other places you can get them, like White Mountain Knives, which I also have a discount code, and different retailers like that. They'll all be linked in the description below. But which one's your favorite and everything? Some of my favorites, of course, is the Tanzel Lake Teardrop, the French Broad Jack. Love that one. Really impressed by this Crane Creek. This is another one that I'm looking to pick up for my collection. And then, of course, these Barlo styles, the my Beaver Creek Barlo and my Luchi Jack are excellent knives. And then I really like this Otter Creek Barlo. It's got a deeper drop clip point, sort of like my Luchi, but you can see the blade shape difference. So really like this Otter Creek Barlo as well. Y'all let me know which one's your favorites. If you like the design of any of these, I say go with it. You won't be disappointed. But I would like to hear your thoughts. Please give me a like, leave a comment. In the description of this video, there'll be those links. My Patreon, my Instagram, and my TikTok, as well as all the links that help support me here at the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, check out this video. Y'all be safe out there. I'm King Raven, and I'll catch you in the next video.